This next session is all about expanding your horizons. You know, ladies and gentlemen, all of us, we live under the same sky. But each one of us, as individuals, we have different horizons. That is because your horizon is directly proportional to the magnitude of your courage. So all we need to do is switch on the light inside, expand our horizon, and realize our full potential as a human. Every morning is a new opportunity to expand our horizons. For this session, we have on stage leaders who've done this very thing. They've expanded their horizons, realized their full potentials, and alongside have built the industry that they are a part of. So please put your hands together as I welcome them on stage. I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Irfan Razak, Chairman and Managing Director, Prestige Group. Yeah. He's been the driving force of his organization, having made it one of India's premier real estate firms. His career boasts of more than 48 years of experience, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely fantastic. His influence extends beyond Prestige, as he has served as president of the Bengaluru Commercial Association and CREDAI for 5 years, and has also chaired CREDAI National. नमस्कार, बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है आपका. आइए प्लीज बहुत सारी प्यार भरी तालियां हो जाए श्री इरफान रज़ाक जी के लिए. I'd also like to welcome on stage Chairman CREDAI.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome, sirs Irfan ji and Manoj ji. So I was talking to a couple of friends from the developer community yesterday and saying कि ये star-studded panel है, and of course, every time you are moderating or interviewing a panel which is star-studded, there's always a little bit of nervousness कि how will that go, but also equally, the good news is I don't have to talk that much because there's so much wisdom that you to share. But एक बात किसी ने कही कि आपके पास कल अमिताभ बच्चन और शाहरुख खान होंगे. तो जब अमिताभ बच्चन और शाहरुख खान है तो आपको कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. So that is the mood with which you come. So what I'll do is really get started, and I'll also just maybe for the audience, because it's your time, an opportunity to ask questions. So I'll set off with a few questions, and then hopefully we'll have questions from the audience, because I think there's a lot to learn from both your journeys, in real estate. So I'll start with Irfan ji maybe. And, when you started in real estate business, Bangalore was a sleepy town. It was considered to be a retirement home. Just wanted to, the audience to know what was your journey when you started initially. What was your thought process? How did you actually get into real estate? And did you ever think that Bangalore will be what it is today? And your position and prestigious position in Bangalore. So, maybe a little bit about your journey. That would be wonderful to hear.
Thanks, Anshul. This story has been told many a time. Yes, Bangalore was a sleepy town. In fact, before coming to the story, I'm sitting here listening to all the youngsters now, the last couple of days, about the new technologies, fractional ownership, AI, and so many things that are happening, and I see a lot more new energy. I was sitting there at the back, I was feeling a little ancient. But having said that, yes, the journey has been spectacular. Nobody ever plans it that way, but things happen. Now, how do things happen is you have to have some sort of a passion for what you're doing. When we started, Bangalore was small. There was hardly anybody there, and in case you did a development of, say, 50 units, it used to be a big thing on who's the buyer. It had to be either somebody who's retired and got their gratuity and some funds that they bought, or somebody who sold some property either in Mumbai, Delhi, and wanted to resettle into Bangalore, so they had the money, or it had to be some NRI client. From then to now, how the markets have expanded, they're just boomed. It's something unimaginable, and today I say the sky is the limit. Why do I say that is because yesterday we heard urbanization of India is going to be much more. It's actually less. Now we are going to hit 50-60% urbanization. Our population is young, it's aspirational. The type of jobs that have been created is just amazing. And then post-COVID, there's one realization that's happened is somebody wants to buy a home, at least one asset for themselves. So with all this, whatever work that we are doing, whatever business that we are doing, according to me, it's only the tip of the iceberg. If you do it well, if you do it properly, do it ethically, sky is the limit. And we definitely at some inflection point where you'll get some huge growth. But the only thing is we need to know how to balance our need with our greed, how to do things ethically and properly. I think there's no stopping. The only way you can succeed is in delivery. That's how we have succeeded. We keep delivering again and again. Customer confidence develops. And once that happens, your next project and the next project become that much more easier.
Yes, absolutely. I think customer confidence is something, you build up both as with the sort of consumers and with enterprises, because you ride on both ends. But just coming to Manoj for a minute, your journey, sir, your company had a very different strategy. You concentrated on Western UP, pretty much looked at large townships. जो आज है success, yes, शुरुआत कहाँ हुई? How did you start and how did you end up here?
Thank you very much. I think everybody wants to listen more and more Irfan. He is our hero. We always follow him. And as far as my is concerned, my journey started way back in 1995 with zero capital, no background. My father was in railways for 28 years. And at that time, we built this Gaurs company and started with a very small project of 6 flats. But starting से एक काम था कि projects जो है, अभी जैसे फ्रैक्शन ओनरशिप की बात हुई, तो हमारे कस्टमर हर एक प्रोजेक्ट में, even today also जो है, they are my fractional owner, they are my investors. And in every project where they earn, we earn. And we earn lot of profit. And मैंने पहले भी बहुत बोला है that profit is not money. Profit is not always money. The project completion, time completion of the project is also a profit. Your reputation is also a profit. Your confidence, your customer's confidence is also profit. Your financial discipline is also a profit. Your banks का जो आपके ऊपर confidence है, वो भी एक profit है. So in that way we earn a lot of profit and still we are following that. And from last 27, 28 years, all projects are completed on time, no matter what the conditions, whether it's pandemic, whether it's a sine wave, whether it's global recession, but we never stop. Then the main thing is one, discipline in the construction, always adopting the new technology, new way, and what customers need. We are very flexible. As the market need, we change ourselves. किसी प्रोजेक्ट में अगर हाई राइज की ज़रूरत है, हाई राइज को स्टार्ट किया, मार्केट अडॉप्ट नहीं कर रही, इमीडिएटली कन्वर्टेड टू फ्लैटेड डेवलपमेंट. कभी 2 बेडरूम करके स्टार्ट किया, मार्केट का रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया, कन्वर्टेड टू 1 बेडरूम और 3 बेडरूम एंड वाइस वर्सा. तो ऑलवेज फ्लेक्सिबल एंड व्हाट पीपल वांट. कई बार मैंने देखा है बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं पैशनेट होते हैं खुद कि वो इजिप्ट आ रहे हैं, लंदन जा रहे हैं, वहाँ पे इतनी अच्छी बिल्डिंग बन रही है और उसी को अडॉप्ट करना शुरू कर देते हैं. इट्स गुड कि आप अच्छी बिल्डिंग बनाएं, बट लोगों को क्या चाहिए, किस एरिया में आप ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, व्हाट इज़ देयर रिक्वायरमेंट, टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. एंड वो एक फिलॉसफी आज तक रही, द सेल्स इज़ नंबर 1, बिकॉज द कैश फ्लो ऑलवेज जो है मेनटेन करें. अनटिल अनलेस आपके पास बहुत बड़ी कैपिटल नहीं है, रजाक भाई की तरह जो है इरफान भाई की तरह, तो आपको ये डिसिप्लिन बहुत मेंटेन करना है. एंड नेवर फॉल इन लव विद लैंड. मैंने बहुत सारे डेवलपर्स को फेल होते हुए देखा है, क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत बड़ा लैंड बैंक बना लिया और लैंड से ज़्यादातर डेवलपर्स को हमें प्यार हो जाता है. तो फॉर अस लैंड इज़ ऑलवेज अ रॉ मटेरियल. जो लैंड लिया, जो प्रोजेक्ट लिया, उसको कंप्लीट किया. तो इनफैक्ट आफ्टर 28 ईयर्स हार्डली एनी लैंड बैंक विद अस. तो यू मे से कि आज इवन आफ्टर द सो मच ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स we are here because we have completed all the project. जो भी उसके लिए करना पड़ा, difficulties भी बहुत आई, but you can say sales, financial discipline and customer confidence.
Very good. So 2 very, very successful enterprises here. So 2 very successful enterprises here with 2 very different strategies. As I can see it, at least. So, while Prestige has focused very heavily into premium, and multiple asset classes, so whether it's hotels, retail, offices, residential, and perhaps others as well. Irfanji, you've continuously pushed the quality and the luxury element in country across all asset classes. So, where did you, how did you sort of, but why was that, right? Because ultimately India is about sort of mass market. It's about, that's where Manoj ji played really well with larger this thing. Why this focus on luxury, and how did you think that we want to push that quality up to that stage where we can make India proud today with the kind of buildings that you are delivering at this point in time?
Just to put it on record what Manoj said, one is, I didn't start with any big capital. I started as much as maybe less than what he did. We started with a capital of only 40,000, way back in 1985. So it has to grow.
Yeah.
And the only way it grows is by having confidence of the people and by delivery. And I've always said this, not today, and this is the same thing he's repeated. I think that's the reason for his success also, that profit should not be the motivation. It should be the passion that you work for. So even in fact, in my organization, I tell all my associates, employees, if you're just working for the money, this is not the place. If you're working for the passion for achieving something, be there. Money also will come, it will follow.
Bilkul.
It's not that you have to be hungry, but if it depends on what is the focus. Coming back to the different products. Yes, we started our business with office. I thought that was a pretty relatively clean, nice built asset class to do. So we used to, initially started with the intent of building and renting, but then somewhere down the line, it became building, selling and renting. And today I was having a class on fractional ownership. We've done that. I've got some 5,000 customers with me who are starter sold, whose asset, whose money I manage, we sell to them. We lease it back from them and then pay them lease rent, and then we lease it to it's called a lease sublease model. It's an unstructured REIT, so all the other regulatory stuff is also taken care of. And customers are happy. So now it becomes very stressful handling so many customers. So at some point of time, we had to stop it. So we started with office. Residential, I thought that was a very difficult business to do because residential customers always demanding. But today, by God's grace, I think yesterday our results were announced quarterly. And we've done 11,000 crores in 6 months.
Yeah.
So, which
almost as much as last year? That this 11,000 crores is almost as much as whole of last year?
Yeah, almost
yes.
as
Fantastic.
much as last year.
Fantastic.
We were trying to hit as much as last year, but it didn't happen because 2 projects didn't get their RERA. It'll happen. But the thing is, see, you have to, it's not that, you have to have that focus. And you have to believe in what you're doing. And like I said, the business will happen. It's only that the customer confidence that has to come in. Now, how did we get into retail? We are actually retailers from background. I always had this fascination of building a mall. I did India's first mall, properly designed and completed it and opened it in February of 2004. Now, in the last 20 years, there's a retail revolution in the country. The amount of malls that India has seen is quite amazing. And I believe that in that overall scenario of development, what we have done is probably pretty small. But whatever we are doing, we're trying to do our best and do the best of the developments. And then, of course, with retail, we also, like I talked about office, now we went into hospitality because there was a need. We're doing an integrated development. So it needed hospitality, needed retail, needed residential and office. So it all came together. But one led to the other, and today we've got a fairly large rooms in hospitality. I think maybe we would compare along with the old hospitality giants that are there in the country. And the thing, it's happening. So, but whatever we do, the whole idea was to do it properly. Yes, there is requirement of capital. I always say that in residential, like Manoj said, sell. Get your money. Don't hold. Don't do land banking. Don't get greedy. So the cash flow keeps coming. So where do you really need the capital is for all the assets which you're holding. Another thing that I learned long back in my life was we did one beautiful retail development, sold it starter. Within a couple of years, it was finished.
Yeah.
So then we learned that it has to be you have to own it and manage it. So that's how we did that the first time, and then it became one story. And then 2 years ago, we packaged 8 of our malls and sold it to Blackstone. And now we're building another 8 or 10, and we'll have that much more square footage than what we sold to them within the next 3 to 5 years.
Irfanji, how do you actually make sure that the quality is delivered? Because luxury, of course, India now understands luxury and things are happening, but when you started, that understanding of luxury was perhaps not there. Therefore, delivery of quality, and I'll come to you, Manoj, as well on quality delivery, because it's a very different segment where you have to deliver quality. But Irfanji, how did you actually deliver that, ensure that your organization delivers that quality in luxury? That, I think, is one of the most difficult things one has to do in execution.
No, I do agree it's very tough, but quality has to become a habit.
Yeah.
And it has to have a habit, it has to percolate down the organization. If you demand something, you get it. If you get up in the morning and you want your wife to make some good dosas for you, you have to demand for it. Otherwise, you don't get it. So same way, you demand for that quality within your organization, you make it a point. See, there's another thing that we do religiously, both my brother and I, and of course now the next generation also. We visit our sites. We just don't leave it to our people. So that's again a habit. Every week, twice a week, we are on some site or the other, not only in Bangalore now, in any other city that we work in. What does it do? It keeps the contractors alert, it keeps your own staff alert, it keeps all the stakeholders who are there. And once you go, it becomes like magic when they know that's announced, the program is announced when you're coming and visiting. So that particular day, housekeeping, everything is all fabulous. So it is a psychological thing. Another thing that we did, which we learned, I don't know whether anybody in this country does it. When we complete a project with a huge fanfare, we have an inauguration function. That's a trick that I learned. What happens is once there's a function, like you have a function at home, the house gets cleaned up, everything happens. Same way, all the debris, all the entire housekeeping, the entire place gets shined up. So, that's one effort that happens, and you keep a deadline. That means your project gets completed, your customer's happy, the entire debris goes out, otherwise it will never go out. So that is a trick. It's a lot of effort that happens, but it works. It has worked for us. And even in large developments, it's working beautifully. Of course, in every residential development, there will be some chap who will be negative. Yeah. And we can't give up on that. There'll be somebody who will be troubling you, somebody who will be a naysayer. Recently, I inaugurated a project of 3,500 homes. In that, there was one small group of 4, 5, 10, they said, we'll come and disrupt the function, we'll create. I said, come, you do what you want. I am definitely going through with the function. And then I told them a story in that function. That same story, if you wish, if I'm not talking too much, I can say that.
Please. Yeah.
So, that day, everybody was nervous. Will they come and embarrass us? Will they trouble us? Because that, according to me, that project was brilliant. Finished on time, shined up very nicely. There were some silly things about when are you getting me the water? When are I need you to build a bridge? And all those absolutely stupid stuff. But we negated them. We had that function, and I said, make the best biryani, mat. So that particular day, there were 7,000 people who ate. And whoever were non-vegetarian, we had a separate section for them. I said, that time, even get some fellows with drums, this, that, make a big tamasha, and do it with fanfare. Now, that story I'll tell you. So I told them one story. They were all very dumbstruck and very sheepish after that. I said, listen, there was this elderly gentleman sitting in at some edge at a pond, and he saw one cat, and that cat he saw was drowning and was struggling and every time jumping up to save herself. This elderly gentleman gave out the hand to the cat so that the cat holds his hand and jumps out. But every time he gave the hand, what did the cat do is scratched him. And this fellow pulled his hand back in pain. But few minutes later, again he gave back his hand and this cat again scratched him. He kept on doing it. There was a youngster who was watching this. He said, "Uncle, don't you realize that this cat doesn't want to be saved? Why are you keeping on giving your hand?" That old man was quiet. After several attempts, maybe half a dozen attempts, that cat actually went on to that hand and jumped out and saved herself. After that, the uncle said, "You know, my young boy, you see, my job is, my nature is to save that cat. But the cat's nature is to scratch me. So our job is to build houses. And it's the nature of the customers to keep scratching us." So that was the story I told them that day. And they all kept quiet after that.
Very good, fantastic. Manoj, you have gone into a very different strategy and very successful one as well. We're building massive integrated townships. Or again, India mein execution of these townships, it takes a lifetime, decade, right? But you actually took a very big challenge, not phased at all with it, and said कि इसको बनाना है. And you've now done multiple of those. You're closely associated with Housing for All mid. So जब पहली बारी when you took up this challenge, which is a massive challenge by any stage, what was your kind of vision? What was your thinking? And how do you actually then again maintain the quality in a much harder segment?
No, delivering a large size project or large volume is definitely difficult, and more difficult when you are doing affordable housing. We used to sell flat around 3,000, 4,000 rupees square feet, which include everything, including the land. In that case, this is more challenging. And time bound also. You have to deliver within 2 years, 3 years. At that time, we took a conscious decision to adopt the international technology. We adopt the aluminum foam work. Although we changed it and to make it Indianized, and we invested more than 150 crore rupees in shuttering only. And that gives a lot of time saving, or you can say the quality. In that engineers की जो भी mistakes थी वो वहाँ पर possible नहीं थी, क्योंकि aluminum foam work until unless all the pieces are in there, you can't pour the concrete. And the timing. And since we have a volume, the capital invested initially is automatically recovered within 2-3 years. We have delivered more than 5 crore square feet from that technology. I think that gives us a lot of confidence कि उसको हम timely जो है वो convert करने जाएं. एक sales के ऊपर जो है एक strategy हमने भी करी, और that is very successful. I have shared many times. In 2017-18 is almost flat sale in entire India. Nothing is selling, and बहुत सारी मीटिंग्स हमारी डेवलपर्स में भी होती थी. अब सब कहते हैं भाई हम इतना अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं और लोग ही नहीं खरीदना चाह रहे. एट दैट टाइम हमने एक स्ट्रेटजी चेंज करी. सब ठीक है, उस टाइम बहुत ही मॉडरेट सेल हो रही थी जो है, और थैंक्स टू IIM, उस टाइम IIM में मैंने एक कोर्स भी किया था कि we just identify all the stakeholders. One is the customer, one is the consultant, sales consultant, and third is the banker, and fourth is us. ये चार लोगों को हमने आइडेंटिफाई किया. What customer need? At that time the confidence is very low. Nobody is कोई कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डर्स के ऊपर नहीं था, स्पेशली इन नॉर्थ NCR. सबकी रेपुटेशन बहुत ज़्यादा ख़राब थी, क्योंकि मैनी लार्ज प्रोजेक्ट्स वो फेल हो गए थे जो है. तो उनका कॉन्फिडेंस को कैसे बूस्टअप किया जाए. एट दैट टाइम वी हैव डिलीवर मोर देन 8,000 हाउसेस. उसमें से बहुत सारे 20-25% लोगों ने ऑक्यूपाई नहीं किया था, बिकॉज इन्वेस्टर थे. तो हमने उनसे वो रेंट पे वापस लिए. वी रेंटेड आउट दैट, अपने कंपनी में हमने वापस लिए. देन वी स्टार्ट कैंपेनिंग कि आप अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर रेडी टू मूव इन, आपको फ्लैट हम दे रहे हैं. जो वो फ्लैट हमने रेंट पे लिए थे, आप उसमें जाके शिफ्ट हो जाइए, और अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रोजेक्ट में जब तक आपका प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट ना हो जाए तो आप इसको खाली नहीं करें. तो दैट गिव्स अ कॉन्फिडेंस कि मेरा प्रोजेक्ट टाइमली बन जाएगा, क्योंकि टाइमली कंस्ट्रक्शन उस टाइम एक बड़ा. देन द प्राइस, ऑफ कोर्स वी हिट बाय अराउंड 500 crore rupees in a single day, because we have to sell more than 7,500 flats. 5,000 अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन, 2,500 स्टिल जिनका अप्रूवल आ गया था, जिनको स्टार्ट करना था. तो एक ही दिन के अंदर हमने उसको चेंज किया. देन वी चेंज द पेमेंट सिस्टम. यूजुअली द फर्स्ट पेमेंट गोज टू बैंक, देन सेकंड पेमेंट गोज टू लेबर पेमेंट, सैलरीज, देन थर्ड पेमेंट टू मटेरियल, एंड लास्ट में सबसे ज़्यादा जो हमारे सेल्स कंसल्टेंट होते थे, प्रॉपर्टी डीलर से, उनकी पेमेंट होती थी. देन वी चेंज दिस साइकिल. ऑन टॉप फर्स्ट पेमेंट गोज टू द कंसल्टेंट्स, रियल एस्टेट कंसल्टेंट डीलर्स जो है. उससे एकदम एंटायरली उनके अंदर जो चेंज आया, मतलब इवन रात के 4-4 बजे तक ऑफिसेज ओपन हुए. एक दिन के अंदर 2-2 हज़ार यूनिट्स जो है उसमें सेल किए जो है. तो वहाँ से वो चीज़, और एक बार सोल्ड रिसीवेबल्स आ गए तो बैंक्स का भी कॉन्फिडेंस है. यस, देन बैंक कॉन्फिडेंस भी वापस आ गया. इन दैट पर्टिकुलर ईयर, इन 2018, we sold more than 5,000 crore rupees of property, and the number of 10,000 properties in single calendar year. So that gives a lot of confidence. और उधर वहाँ पे survive करने से आज हम यहाँ पर जो है बैठे हैं. When you are doing a large size of project, it is essential कि आप अपना जो financial discipline and time, और जो time था हमारा जो construction का जो delivery time था उसको भी हमने 1.5 से 2 साल reduce किया. तो सेल्स के अंदर जो इनोवेशन एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के अंदर, तो वी आर स्टिल अडॉप्टिंग न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी. रिसेंटली वी कंप्लीटेड 1 million square feet थ्रू स्टील स्ट्रक्चर, where the cost is around 10-15% is extra, but the timing is great timing. Within 18 months, including the COVID time, we have delivered that project. So constantly change yourself, constantly upgrade yourself. What is the need of your city, what is the need of your company, and क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है उसको आइडेंटिफाई करके उसको एड्रेस करना. और कई बार हमने देखा है कि प्रॉब्लम सबसे बड़ी हम खुद होते हैं, तो वी नीड टू चेंज अवरसेल्फ. कभी कंपनी में जो है तो हमने अपने आप को भी चेंज किया. मैंने लॉट ऑफ चेंज इन माई सेल्फ, स्पेशली आफ्टर द IIM कोर्स जो है. तो उन्होंने मेरे को एक टेस्ट भी लिया और ये बताया कि जो 20 साल से आपने किया और जिसकी वजह से कंपनी ने ग्रो किया, लेट द कंपनी वर्क, नाउ यू स्टेप बैक. तो हमने भी मैनेजमेंट में चेंज किया, अपने आप को चेंज किया, एडवाइस देना कम किया, लेट द पीपल वर्क. उनको ज़्यादा नहीं तो अर्लियर यूज टू, मेरे ऑफिस में कोई आता था, जब तक वो मेन गेट से मेरी टेबल तक पहुंचता था तब तक मैं उससे प्रॉब्लम पूछ के उसका सॉल्यूशन दे देता था. नाउ आई चेंज माई सेल्फ. जब वो आता है उससे पूछते हैं प्रॉब्लम, एंड बिलीव मी 80% टाइम उनके पास सोल्यूशन भी होता है. तो मैंने उसको जो है कम किया, उससे जो है काफ़ी चेंजेस जो है कंपनी के अंदर आए. एंड इरफान भाई की वो कहानी बहुत ही ठीक है कि भाई कस्टमर का जो भी बिहेवियर है उससे हमें अपनी स्ट्रेटजी को कभी भी चेंज नहीं करना चाहिए. ऑलवेज 10-20% होते हैं. मारुति कार खरीदी है और फैसिलिटी उनको मर्सिडीज़ की चाहिए तो वो होता ही है. तो बट वी आर स्टिल ट्राइंग कि कैसे उस मारुति कार में मर्सिडीज़ नहीं तो जो है होंडा सिटी की जो है फैसिलिटी दे सकें. एंड इम्प्रूविंग आवर सेल्फ, कॉन्स्टेंटली जो है इम्प्रूविंग आवर सेल्फ. दिस इज द ओनली थिंग.
Very good, fantastic. So there's a lot of learning from failures. So is there any one of you would like to recount any project or any instance where you learned from your failures that you'd like to share with the audience for both of you? शायद रहे नहीं है फेलियर्स. तो
चैलेंजेस तो आते ही रहते हैं. यू हैव टू फेस इट. इफ देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम यू हैव टू फेस इट. कभी अगर आप कोई भी प्रॉब्लम को अगर फेस करते हैं तो 70-80% तो प्रॉब्लम जो है वो सॉल्व हो जाती है. एक कोट बहुत पुराना कभी चल रहा था कि मैं डिसीजन लेने से पहले तो नहीं सोचता, हाँ डिसीजन लेने के बाद उसको करेक्ट करने में जो है अपनी सारी मेहनत और अपनी सारी चीज़ें लगा देता हूँ. तो डिसीजन लेते वक्त आपको ये नहीं पता होता कि वो डिसीजन का अल्टीमेट जो है रिजल्ट क्या होगा. हमने एक शेयर करता हूँ कि मेरे 250 एकड़ की टाउनशिप एक हमने ली. जो लोग नॉर्थ से हैं वो जानते हैं, यमुना एक्सप्रेसवे के ऊपर. एट दैट टाइम द रियल इस्टेट इज़ हाई लाइक दिस टाइम, बहुत हाई था उस टाइम जो है. तो वी टुक ए डिसीजन, दो इट इज़ वेरी फार अवे फ्रॉम द मेन सेंटर जो है. और जब स्टार्ट किया तो फर्स्ट 2 वीक्स के अंदर अराउंड 2200 फ्लैट्स सोल्ड आउट ऑफ 2500, 2200 सोल्ड आउट. एंड वी से वाओ व्हाट इज दिस. देन वी प्लान 20,000 होम्स कि अब इसमें 20,000 मकान बनाएंगे. सडनली आफ्टर 2013 में हमने प्रोजेक्ट कंसीव किया था. देन 14-15 ग्रेजुअली रियल इस्टेट जो है वो नीचे जाने लगा और सेल्स ऑलमोस्ट जो है वो ख़त्म हो गई. उसके बाद देन इमीडिएटली, जैसे मैंने पहले भी बोला, मैंने इमीडिएटली वो सारे उसको चेंज करके वी कन्वर्टेड द रेस्ट ऑफ द लैंड इनटू द प्लॉट्स. उसके बाद भी सेल नहीं हुआ. देन वी टाइड अप विद कंपनी इन मिडिल ईस्ट. उसके बाद हमने उसको डॉलर्स और दिराम के अंदर जो है इन्वेस्टमेंट के 50,000 दिराम्स और $50,000 के अंदर इन्वेस्टमेंट, वी आर एबल टू सोल्ड मोर देन 500 करोड़ ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी इन मिडिल ईस्ट, जब इंडिया के अंदर सेल नहीं हो रही थी। लेकिन कभी भी उस प्रोजेक्ट को रुकने नहीं दिया, कंप्लीट किया। और आज की डेट में जो प्लॉट्स हमने जो है 20,000 रुपये में लोगों को बुला के सेल कर रहे थे, आज वो मोर देन 1 लाख रुपीज़ जो है वहाँ पे सेल हो रहा है। तो दैट प्रोजेक्ट इज़ कम्प्लीटली हैंड ओवर एंड सोल्ड आउट। तो चैलेंजेस तो हमेशा आते हैं आपकी लाइफ में, बस आप उसे कैसे फेस करते हो, दैट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट।
Fantastic. Irfan ji, any example from you?
Yeah, no, there's no such thing as a dream run. You'll always have problems. How you overcome the problems, how you confront the problems, how you face the problems is what makes you stronger. Like Manoj ji in his same thing we all face. We plan something else happens. But one thing I have seen as experience, whichever project you have started, come what may, tighten your belt, go to the end, complete it. Complete it and complete it in style. That product will, if it doesn't sell today, it will sell tomorrow, and once completed, it is 100% sure to be sold. It's only, and then you get better pricing also. So sometimes what really happens is when you launch, you sell just say out of 100, you sell 5 units, and then you start getting very nervous. And then either you slow down your construction or you start changing tack. I believe that you have to have confidence in yourself and say, listen, I'm going through the whole distance. Moment you go through the whole distance, this has happened to us repeatedly, again and again. And I said, there's no dream run. Yes, you have, sometimes everything is easy, sometimes the simplest things also are difficult. But try and, as far as possible, if you've started something, find the resources, do whatever, use innovative methods to see that you get your liquidity, but complete your project. Moment your project is completed, and then another say, when I say complete, don't dilute it. Do it better. 100% it will sell, 100% it will get you money, and it will get you recognition also.
Thank you. So, I think we've talked a lot about funding, so I want to, maybe touch on that a little bit. So, as Cushman Wakefield, we work with a lot of developers, helping them raise sometimes debt, sometimes equity, sometimes joint venture partners, joint development agreements, etc. And this journey, what we have seen with developers is, as they're maturing, it's very confusing in everyone's head. कि आउटराइट खरीदें या जॉइंट वेंचर लें किसी के साथ, पार्टनर कैसे चूज़ करें, फॉरेन पार्टनर होना चाहिए, डोमेस्टिक पार्टनर होना चाहिए, पैसा किससे लेना चाहिए, डेट लेना चाहिए, नहीं लेना चाहिए, कुछ लोग ज़्यादा डेट ले लेते हैं, उसको लैंड में लगा देते हैं, etc. I'm sure both of you have gone through those trials and tribulations. Maybe some word of advice for the audience around it, maybe. Manoj ji. Yeah, Irfan ji, please.
See, now, our business is the most capital intensive. You definitely need capital. But see, now we innovated this joint development. I think I'm the first one in the early 80s who developed, even the lawyers didn't know how to make a joint development agreement those days. We invented it. What happened is the land belonged to the landowner. And at that time I started with the office only because I told the landowner, I say, what are you going to, if you monetize your land, if you sell it, what will you do with the money? Half of it will go off in taxes. The balance will disappear. Keep your asset. I'll give you so much percentage of built up area. And then you rent it out. You have your cake and you're eating it too. We started with the joint development model. So basically there, what you needed is capital only to do the construction. You did not have to have money for the land part. As you get into residential today, yes, most of it is pre-sold, so you keep churning your money. But then there's always this balance that needs to happen. How much of equity, how much of debt, and where does the equity come from? Today, as not like in the past, there was hardly any people who could fund you. Today, there's a line of people who are willing to give money, and they're willing to give money to everybody here. It all depends on how credible you are, how good your project is. I would say, if you're getting equity, go for it. Better than debt. Because equity is something that, and don't do the structured equity sometimes. I don't know, Vipul is here, or his team is here. You know, you have this structured equity where again you have a fixed return and then after that it's yours. Okay, it all depends on how you look at things. But the thing is, if it's equity, that much more, that discomfort that if everything goes right, yes, your partner also makes money, you make money. If something doesn't go right, both are on the losing end. But debt is something that once you take debt, you have to repay it. Gone are the days that, okay, I'll take this debt and phir dekha jayega. There's no question of dekha jayega. Basically, you'll get into all sorts of trouble. And I've seen many people getting into trouble and then it just means the end and then you lose confidence. So, yes, we also do take debt, but it has to be judicious. And the moment you take that debt, you also have to have an eye on it. You have to have the wherewithal to service that debt because it's a month-to-month service. So it's a balance. It depends on you monetize certain times by way of selling some assets, or you go in for some private equity where it is much better, cheaper in the sense, though on the face of it looks expensive, but debt is the last thing that I would go in for. And if it has to be there, so be it, but let's be in that position how we can service that debt. Otherwise it will come to bite you.
Sorry.
As Irfan said, the partnership is a very risky business. It's just like a marriage. You are doing a partnership with someone. If something goes on, and many projects and many developers मैं जानता हूँ जिनकी projects जो है problem में आए just because of the wrong partnership. तो चाहे 2 project कम कर लें, अगर partnership को avoid कर सकें, that is better. And secondly, जैसे हमने अपने केस में किया, कभी भी डेट लेके लैंड को परचेज नहीं किया, लैंड को मतलब एज ए एसेट के उसको उस पर प्रोजेक्ट नहीं किया, जो लैंड ली उसको जो है प्रोजेक्ट कंसीव किया, इमीडिएटली जो कंस्ट्रक्शन फाइनेंस लिया एंड टाइमली रिटर्न उसको जो है कर दिया. तो कभी भी जो लैंड बैंक जो बनाना है वो डेट के पैसे से जो है वो नहीं बनाना चाहिए. मैंने मैनी प्लेयर्स जिनके प्रोजेक्ट सब कुछ ठीक था, they failed due to this only कि लैंड बढ़ जाएगी, उसके अंदर पैसे बढ़ जाएंगे, तो उससे जो है अवॉइड करना चाहिए. जैसे मैं अर्लियर सेड कि लैंड इज़ अ रॉ मटेरियल फॉर अस. ट्रेडिशनली आपके पास कोई लैंड आ रही है, दैट इज़ ओके. कई बार हमें भी लगता था अगर ये लैंड हमने होल्ड कर ली होती तो 4 times 5 times हो जाती है, बट उसके अंदर प्रोजेक्ट करके आप निकल रहे हैं तो आपकी टर्नओवर, आपकी बैलेंस शीट, आपका एक्सपीरियंस, वो ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है. तो डेट को सोच समझ के, पार्टनरशिप बहुत ही सोच समझ के जो है करनी चाहिए. नाउ जिस तरह से मार्केट अब इम्प्रूव हो रही है, इट्स बेटर कि आप कैपिटल रेज करें थ्रू द फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूट और जो ऑर्गेनाइज प्लेयर है. मैंने बहुत बार प्रोजेक्ट फेल होते हुए देखे हैं जहाँ पे वो अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर से जो है प्रोजेक्ट्स में फंडिंग हुई है और बाद में वो प्रोजेक्ट्स जो है प्रॉपर्ली टेकअप नहीं हुए. तो फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट aspect in our business, as is the capital, lot of capital is required in our business. तो उस फ्रंट के ऊपर जो है बहुत कॉन्शियसली जो है डिसीजन जो है वो लेना चाहिए.
And again, I'll come back to maybe the two company strategies as well, right? So, आपकी strategy has been very concentrated geographically to Western UP. While Irfan ji, you've now ventured as in you were started with Bangalore and now you ventured as a national player. So maybe first to you, why have you and is there any thought or in your vision to kind of move into wider India, the tier 2 cities, because you are a lot more into mid-segment homes, etc.?
रियल इस्टेट इज़ अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट बिजनेस. इंडिया में एवरी 20 किलोमीटर्स के अंदर पानी चेंज हो जाता है, भाषा चेंज हो जाती है, इससे रियल इस्टेट भी चेंज हो जाता है. तो रियल इस्टेट और स्पेशली वंस वी आर इनटू द रेजिडेंशियल पोर्टफोलियो, मैक्सिमम जो है आउट ऑफ 27 years 20-25 years प्योरली रेजिडेंशियल किया. एवरी गवर्नमेंट हैज़ अ डिफरेंट रूल्स रेगुलेशन एवरीवेयर, द लैंड रूल्स आर डिफरेंट. एंड जो जहाँ पर हम काम कर रहे थे वहाँ पर भी डिमांड, ह्यूज डिमांड, स्टिल द ह्यूज डिमांड. तो द वॉल्यूम वी रिक्वायर्ड द डिमांड वी रिक्वायर्ड वो उसी जगह से पूरी हो रही थी। तो बहुत जगह पूरी इंडिया के अंदर जो है पैन इंडिया के अंदर जो है करना, इवन एक स्टेट के अंदर जो है डिफरेंट अथॉरिटीज़ हैव डिफरेंट रूल्स, तो उसको देखते हुए प्लस एक जगह जो जितनी चीज़ें हमें चाहिए थी, जितना वॉल्यूम चाहिए था, जितनी सेल्स चाहिए थी, वो स्टिल वी आर गेटिंग। एंड आप प्रोजेक्ट पे जा रहे हैं, काम कर रहे हैं और काम आके वापस अपनी फैमिली के पास सेम डे वापस पहुंच रहे हैं। आई थिंक ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा वो रहा कि सारी जगह आप भागते रहे। मैं बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स ऐसे देखते हैं जो मल्टीपल लोकेशंस में काम कर रहे हैं, उनकी ट्रैवलिंग महीने में मुश्किल 15 से 20 दिन तक ट्रैवलिंग होती है। तो दैट इज़ ऑल्सो वन रीज़न आई डोंट वांट टू ट्रैवल लॉट ऑफ फॉर द वर्क। तो और आज की डेट में भी वॉल्यूम अभी स्टिल ड्यू टू द नेशनल कैपिटल रीजन प्रेशर, लॉट ऑफ हाउसिंग शॉर्टेज इज़ देयर, तो अभी इसलिए एक ही जगह कंसंट्रेट रहे। तो रेजिडेंशियल के लिए अपने अंडर कंट्रोल, और या तो हमने लॉ को फॉलो किया या लॉ को चेंज जो है करवाया। तो आई इन्वॉल्व मोर देन 50 टाइम्स बाई लॉज हमने उस जगह के चेंज कराए जहाँ पे हम काम कर रहे थे। दिस इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल एवरीवेयर कि आप अपना इतनी अच्छी लाइजनिंग गवर्नमेंट के साथ यो करें। ऑफ कोर्स द क्रेडाई एंड एसोसिएशन हेल्प अस टू चेंज द पॉलिसीज, टू चेंज द बाई लॉज। तो वो भी एक कारण रहा कि जहाँ जितनी मेहनत आपने एक जगह करके एक जगह रेपुटेशन बनाई है, तो उसी को कितना एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। दैट्स व्हाई कंसंट्रेटेड ऑन वन प्लेस ओनली।
And Irfan ji, you moved national primarily with offices to start with. So you know, it's a bold move. Mostly people say real estate is local, but of course the vision needs to be larger. Offices may, including very difficult markets like Delhi NCR.
I can't agree any less with Manoj. Yes, real estate is definitely localized. So if you can do what you can do within your city, the way you know the rules, way you know the local geopolitics, you know the customer behavior, and if you're able to get your business there and if you're content, I would say that's the best thing to do. Now we have moved into multi-city, but most of the metropolitan cities, that was a move where we said, even there we haven't gone hurtling it. It's an organic move. Slowly we've grown the teams, grown every city that we've been there. It's been a slow growth in those cities. Now wherever we are well established, we are well established. But we need to know the rules of the game in each city. And every city, customer behavior is different. Every city, the local nuances are different. The local politics are different. And for you to get in, deliver and get out is definitely a challenge. It's not easy at all. It looks glamorous, like you said, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan on the screen, they look beautiful. But really speaking, the amount of acting and the amount of stuff that they have to do to look so good is what is the difficult part. And I would say it's small is beautiful. Local is also very beautiful, and we have that ambition of going and doing what we are doing. Only time will tell how things pan out. I know some of my peers have tried and then it has not happened. Again, they're going in. We've gone in, we've taken God's name and done it, but then it's a tough one. We have to grow the teams. Most important is you need to have the people.
Fantastic. So I'll just maybe open to the floor for questions. Are there any questions? Are there? No questions at the moment. Can't see any.
See, on this growth thing, Anshul, the audience always looks for stories from me. So I'll give them one last story.
Yes, please.
So that story is also very relevant when you talk to me about growth. Now there's this young boy and his mother are flying a kite. I think all of us have flown kites, no? Yes or no?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So this young boy and mother are flying kites. The wind was very good. The kite was flying nice and high. And suddenly the young boy realized that the thread was getting over. And he told his mother, "Mom, ye to dhaga khatam ho gaya." So what did the mother do? She just cut the thread and left it. This boy was a little aghast. ओ पतंग उड़ते गए आसमान में, पर जितना ऊपर गए उतनी जल्दी से वो नीचे आके गिर गई. So what is the moral of the story? The mother asked. See, as long as this kite was tied to the string, there was some hold. Okay, so today, yes, we all want to fly. We all want to become big. We all want to be somebody else. But if we break our ethics, break our ground rules, and as long as we are not grounded, what happens is, yes, we'll fly for some time very high, but the very faster we go high, we'll also come down. So my friends, what I say is, yes, it's good to fly. Be grounded, keep your principles, keep your ethics in order, and as much as you want, keep flying. I think everything will be fine.
शेखर भाई का एक सवाल है. एक और स्टोरी सुननी.
एक स्टोरी जो है इरफान भाई की मैं सुनाता हूँ. पुरानी स्टोरी याद आई और ऑलवेज जो है बहुत इंक्रेजिंग होती है इरफान भाई की स्टोरी. एक जगह शायद सी ऑफ गैलीलियो आई थिंक वाटर आता है. ड्यू टू द माउंटेन्स इट इज स्टक डाउन, आगे कहीं नहीं जाता है. एंड एडजस्टेंट टू दैट वाटर कम्स एंड फ्लो. देन मेरीन लाइफ जब वहाँ पे स्टडी की गई तो जहाँ पे पानी आके रुकता है देयर इज नो लाइफ, नो कोरल्स, नो फिशेस, नथिंग. एंड ऑन द सेम थिंग वाटर आके वापस जा रहा है, ब्यूटिफुल लाइफ, सी लाइफ, लॉट ऑफ फिशेस एंड दिस. द मॉरल इज दैट कि जो चीज़ें आ रही हैं आपके पास से, अगर वो आके एक जगह रुक जाएगी, स्पेशली वेल्थ है या नॉलेज है, तो वो कोई यूज़ की नहीं है. अगर चीज़ें आपके पास आ रही हैं, चाहे वो वेल्थ है, नॉलेज है, वो अगर आप दूसरों को पास कर रहे हो तो दैट इज बिकम ब्यूटीफुल.
This was the story of the Dead Sea and the Sea of Galilee. I'm surprised that Manoj ji has remembered this. Maybe I said this some 7, 8 years or 10 years ago. In some, I don't know when. So Shekhar, you're happy with the story, na?
One more, one new story.
New story.
अच्छा, ये दिल मांगे मोर, अभी बोल देता हूँ. देखो, मेरा एक always my विश्वास, my thought process, everything is, जो भी होता है इधर से होता है. Your mind has to be strong. You have to be sure that you want to do something. You have to have that will. As long as you believe in what you want to do, everything will work. So ये कहानी आपको बोल देता हूँ. There was this one farmer taking some 3 sheep. He was going to the market to sell his sheep. वो जाते जाते रास्ते में उसको एक नदी नज़र आ गई. वो बेचारा देखा, अच्छी beautiful lake is there. Let me go there and freshen up, and then let me continue to the market. So then he goes, finds a tree and he tries to tie up his 3 sheep. उसमें उसके पास था, रस्सी थी एक शीप को बनने के लिए. तो इधर उधर ढूंढा, कुछ रस्सी मिल गई तो let me tie the other 2 fellows, otherwise they'll run away. So he suddenly saw one old man sitting under the tree. So he goes up there and said, Uncle, I just want to go and release myself in the lake. तो आपके पास रस्सी है क्या? तो उसने कहा कि भाई रस्सी तो नहीं है मेरे पास, मगर आपको एक उपाय देता हूँ. तो इसने क्या कहा, एक रस्सी से जैसा बनते एक शीप को बंद दो आप, दूसरे दोनों को without the rope, but same action कीजिए कि you are tying the other 2 with the rope. रोप नहीं है, इनविजिबल रस्सी है, आप उसको बांध दो, किधर नहीं जाएंगे, आप मेरे पर विश्वास रखो, आप जाके आराम से फ्री होके आ जाओ. So this man does it. He goes, ties one sheep with the rope, the other 2 invisibly he ties them with the same actions. He goes to the lake, he gets freed up, gets fresh, and then he says, let me go on. So he unties the one which had tied up with the rope, and he starts moving. But the other 2 sheep are not moving. They're not going only. So then he says, ये क्या हो गया, अभी तकलीफ हो गई, ये दोनों हिल नहीं रहे. So then he goes to the old man again. उसने कहा कि भी इन दोनों को भी तो आपने बांध रखा था, उसको तो पहले अनटाई करो तब जाएंगे. तो इसने गया, उसको अनटाई किया, and then तीनों निकल गए. तो a lot of times it happens in life is we tie ourselves with imaginary problems. So as long as we believe in what we are doing, as long as we don't, simple issues will be there, but we tie ourselves up. So untie yourself, the world is your oyster. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this most enriching session. And thank you to the Honorable Moderator for moderating this, ladies and gentlemen.